And then we can.
Yeah, I'm recording.
That's alright. Just record everyone. Get them on the FBI file.
See who's.
What's going on there? Okay, guys, I think we should make a start and then we'll sort of like get Shane on later on and stuff like that. So first of all, welcome to the Software Development Society. This is the second seminar that we're doing. Last week we did Introduction to Programming. I'm going to try to wing it today and then give you sort of like 45 minutes of Introduction to Programming again, started from absolute beginners. So I'm not going to assume that you have any knowledge in programming, but what I am going to assume that you know how to switch on a computer, you know what binary is. I'm not going to do binary today, but you have an idea that there's machine code and there's human language as well, and there's a way of communicating between humans and computers, which we have compilers, interpreters. I'm going to explain what a compiler and interpreter is in a moment as well. So programming language is no different than any language. I mean, you mentioned Hungarian language or English. You have grammar, exactly the same way. In programming, we call it syntax. So just like you do a sentence in English and you put a full stop at the end, in programming, what we do, we put a semicolon at the end. So every time we finish a statement, we just put one of those, so get used to that. And just like in any language where you write a paragraph and it's like a block of code, like the same way in programming, we do these squiggly lines. I'm going to go into more detail once we start doing some examples, so you're going to get a better idea when to use these things. But for now, just start getting used to these funny things that we put into the code, which are like a semicolon or a squiggly line. Now, in programming, I'd like to give you another metaphor as well. It's pretty much the same as like building a car or building a house. You have building blocks. Just like in a car, you have an engine, you've got wheels, you've got a steering wheel, you've got all these components. Same thing in programming, you've got building blocks. There's 4 main building blocks in programming, which I'm going to cover. The first being condition. Right? So that's the first building block in programming. Who knows a bit of conditions? You know if condition? Anyone done programming before? Okay, cool. You can talk. You don't have to be silent, alright? I'm not by myself here in the room. So, first one is condition. Now, every time we do a condition, we put a condition in brackets, just like that. So the first one, just like I mentioned, if condition. So you've got if, let's say for example, age, I'm going to rub this out, if age is less than say 18. I'm not going to tell you when we're going to use that condition, but let your imagination run wild here. So if you're less than 18, sorry buddy, you can't come into the site, yeah? Or whatever. So the same thing, so you just put a if something is true, you put a condition in the middle here, and then you execute the code. So you could put a statement line, and sorry, print, for example, and then you would put something like, print, sorry, you're too young or something like that. And then, or you would sort of do something like that, like else, if age is greater than 18, do something else. I'm being very quick here just to give you a quick idea, and then we'll sort of like go into the detail of it. So that's the first sort of thing is like a condition, an if condition. The second thing, we've got loops. Okay? Now, loops is when what computers are really good at, like repeating something a number of times. There's 4 different types of loops. Maybe there's more. I'll sort of like try to remember. Am I right, Shane?
Something like that.
Four different loops. First one is the while loop. While is pretty much like a condition as well. So you've got while, I, for example, or x, it could be anything, is less than 10. Keep executing. Now, if it was only one line, you would just put the line here and then you put a semicolon at the end. But if it's a multiple line, like I said, that's a paragraph, you want a block of code, you would start doing these squiggly lines. And then you would do the code down here and you would say repeat, so you keep saying I++. Now I++ basically means I plus 1. So you would add, speak?
No, I think I should put the camera over there because you're talking always on this.
Yeah, that's right, because I'm right.
Yeah, yeah.
Alright, give me the camera. No problem.